Hi, and thanks for watching my hike on the Gillespie Pass circuit in New Zealand. Here's a guide for this hike in case you wanted to do it yourself. I hiked a total of 53 kilometers on the Gillespie Pass track in early March of this year, including the out and back side trip to Lake Crucible. I started my hike from the small car park on the side of the road on State Highway 6 at about midday. Before this, I had made the roughly 1 hour drive from the town of Wanaka. The path led me down a short distance across farmland to the sandy bed of the Makarora River. This is a very dangerous river to cross and can be deadly, so make sure that you know what you're doing, and if you do decide to cross, make sure you have river crossing experience. People have died in this river trying to cross, so do not take this decision lightly. An alternative to starting this hike is to take a jet boat ride across the river with Wilkin River jets, where they drop you off safely across the river. After crossing the Makarora, I made my way up the beautiful Young Valley, moving through slightly undulating and relatively rugged terrain. Keep in mind this trail is not a New Zealand Great Walk and features very typical New Zealand trails such as mud, roots, slippery rocks and steep parts. I set up camp in the afternoon after walking about 14 kilometers at Young Forks campsite. The river near this campsite can apparently flood to the level of the campsite, so check the weather diligently before you set out to make sure you aren't washed away like a river rat. The second day consisted of only a couple extra kilometers than the first day, but a lot more elevation gain. Straight away after leaving camp, the trail was steep but manageable. Eventually you walk your way out of the tree line and arrive in Young Basin. This was my favorite part of the hike, very beautiful. Once you come to the end of Young Basin, the only way is up. I would also strongly advise fully hydrating yourself before leaving Young Basin and filling up your water bottle, as there is no water source until you reach the other side of the pass in Siberia Valley. After a grueling but rewarding hike up Gillespie Pass, you are greeted with a fantastic view of Mount Horrible and the surrounding mountains and valleys. I had a wee nap on the pass and listened to the sound of silence. Very peaceful. Making your way down the other side of the pass is easier, but care still must be taken so as to not slip on any loose rocks. I descended down to Siberia Valley and walked out of the trees into the flats. I made my way past the sign for Lake Crucible and found a tent spot roughly 200 meters off the main trail, nearby a stream. There were lots of sandflies even in March, so beware. These guys bite. On the final day, I packed up my tent and set off toward Lake Crucible. About 100 meters up the trail, I left my pack in a bush off to the side to collect later when I came back down the trail. This trail was very steep, like the day before, but it is very rewarding, with amazing views of more peaks and valleys, and of course Lake Crucible in all its glory. The last kilometers of the hike were very easy, with only slight undulations across easy terrain. That afternoon I made it to the side of Wilkin River, where I had pre-booked a jet boat to take me back to Makarora West. This cut off about 20 kilometers of walking on flat farmland, and it was a very exciting way to end the hike. I then walked about 3 kilometers down the road from Makarora West back to where my car was parked on the side of the road. Overall, the Gillespie Pass track was incredible. I was lucky enough to have great weather for the entire duration of my trip, and would highly recommend this hike to anyone with moderate hiking experience and who enjoys a challenge. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.